Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina istafa. My dear respected brothers and sisters, audience from all around the world, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another episode of Inspirational Deen Talks. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept my efforts and the efforts of the audience as well. And my gratitude that you're taking the time to listen to these inspirational talks. May Allah make it easy upon me and you that we make amal upon what is being said, we practice upon what is being said, as practicing is the most important thing than just listening. Making these topics come inspirationally into our lives like a flower blooming, that we start to change our lives and we learn to wake up for tahajjud, and we learn to try to build a bond between our Allah and us, and that we change our lifestyles from the lifestyle of guna and haram, and that we make our life according to the ahkam of Allah, the commands of Allah shown to us by the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah make it easy for us. Accept our fasting, accept our ibadat, all of our worship that we've done, nawafil, everything that we've been doing. Because my dear brothers, this Ramadan has come and is on the verge of leaving. We have but 10 days, and in the first 10 nights, it was mercy of Allah coming down. And then these 10 nights are about to leave. The maghfirat of Allah is about to pass also. And we are about to now enter into the 10 nights when the salvation from the fire of Jahannam will now be given. The certification for these 10 nights is being issued. May Allah make it easy for us that we try to avoid sleeping, and we try to stop wasting our time if we have, and we try to devote a little bit more time. If you wake up for sehri, maybe half an hour, just set your alarm before you usually wake up, and wake up maybe just a half an hour more before that. You can make a little ibadat at that time, and you can sit and talk to your Rabb and ask him specifically that you need salvation from the fire of Jahannam. The dua that is being taught to us by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Allahumma ajirna minan nar, Allahumma ajirna minan nar, Allahumma ajirna minan nar. Say it slowly so that you understand it has an impact on your heart. Never rush your duas. Take your time, make your duas carefully, select what you want to say to your Rabb when Allah is listening the most at that times of maqbuliyat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of our ibadat, all of our tawbah, all of our mehnat of this month of Ramadan, and forgive our shortcomings. My shortcomings to all my audience, and your shortcomings to all of your family and our community and wherever you are, because none of us are perfect. I've said this. And we sin every single day on the side of error. We sin knowing and unknowingly. Every single day we say things to hurt people's feelings. We say things consciously, unconsciously. As a father to children, children to parents, friends to friends, community members, masjid management to the mutawallis, the congregation, and so many other people hurt each other's feelings. The tongue is used as a sword to stab our brothers and sisters, literally and metaphorically as well. We don't know what we're doing in the haram, and we just carry on living and assuming that there's no penalties for these things. Allah humko maaf farmaye. May Allah forgive our shortcomings. I'm not here to discuss this today though, but it is an introduction to make us understand that these last few nights, it is very important that we try not to sleep this much, and we try to sit down and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for maghfirat, although maghfirat is leaving. But we try to ask him more so that Allah, don't throw me in the fire of Jahannam. This is all I request. If we have been given salvation from the fire of Jahannam, hamara kaam ban gaya. Our work is done in the eyes of Allah. But if we have not been given salvation from the fire of Jahannam, what will happen to us? This is a question you and I have to ask ourselves when we're alone sitting at that time when no one is awake with us. We have to think, if I'm not free from the fire of Jahannam on the day of judgment, what will happen to me? What will truly happen to me when everybody is going to Jannah and I'm thrown first into Jahannam? What will happen? This is a very serious topic that we should take for ourselves. That being said, last few nights that I've been awake, I felt this topic coming to me as well, and it's been uneasy. It hasn't let me sleep, in the essence that I feel that Allah is telling me, this is something that you need to talk about. And I'm not saying Allah is talking to me, but I feel it inside that it's just been brewing, it's not going away. It's a topic of death. And yes, it's not a topic that we all want to hear. It's not a topic that we like to entertain, because it's not an entertaining topic. It's not like talking about Jannah. It's not like talking about good things like nikah and happy things. It's a sad topic. It's a topic that makes you realize very quickly how short life is, and how much sin we might have been involved in, and how quickly we need to change our life, right? So with that being said though, I will discuss it inshallah. May Allah, through this topic of me talking about maut, make us understand the importance that we change our life today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. Today, as soon as possible, we implement change into our lives, that we become better, meaning brothers and sisters towards each other. We become better fathers to our children and better husbands to our wives. We become better children to our parents, and we inspire each other. That's why it's saying inspirational. We inspire each other daily to top each other at our a'mal ad-din, and we start leaving the muhabbat dunya away from us, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He realizes in our hearts we are pure and we want His madad. Only the madad of Allah, only the help of Allah can give us salvation from the fire of Jahannam, and take all of our parishaniya and all of our problems away that we are suffering with, because we have caused ourselves this grief. Allah has said, ask from me, I will remove your problems. Ask from me, I will give you assistance. Ask from me, I will help you. Hamara kaam hai poochna, Allah ka kaam hai kabul karna. Our job is to ask. Allah's job is to answer. Our job is to seek forgiveness. Allah's job is to grant forgiveness. Our job is to make shukr of Allah. Allah's job is to grant that shukr, accept it, and grant us more. Don't overstep your boundaries, but do what you're supposed to do, and then Allah will take the rest from there. With that being said, I will begin with the Quranic ayat. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Kullu nafsin dha'ikatul maut. Wa innama tuwaffawna ujurahum yawmal qiyamah. فَمَنْ زُحْزِهَا عَنِ النَّارِ وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةِ فَقَدْ فَازَ وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ صَدَقَ اللَّهُ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ. In this ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the moments in this world are very short. And everyone, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ, every soul that has entered into this world must taste death inevitably. Must taste death no matter what. No matter how rich you are, how poor you are. The race, color, gender, nothing matters. Hum sabko maut ka chakna hai. We all have to taste death one day. فَمَنْ زُحْزِهَا. But the person who has appeared in front of Allah on that day with all the deeds away, he can push Jahannam away. فَمَنْ زُحْزِهَا عَنِ النَّارِ. That person who has absolved himself from getting involved into Jahannam and getting flung towards Jahannam, getting himself gotten caught in the trap of Jahannam, faqad faz. He has been successful. Look what Allah is telling us. This is why it's so important to ask Allah, Allahumma ajirna minan nar, Allahumma ajirna minan nar, because Allah is saying the person who gets away from the fire of Jahannam, faqad faz. He's the most successful. Then Allah says, وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. This life that we are living is but like a dream. It's like nothing. You go to bed and you dream, and then you wake up and you realize it was just a dream. This is how life is for us. It is but a dream. A person will leave this dunya, and in the akhirat he will wonder, what's happening? It will be like if he had a dream. This is how fast this life will pass. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy upon us to act upon this Quranic ayat and understand it. With this being said, I will begin what I want to say. Today we're going to take a small, it's like a journey on what happens when maut starts to arrive. So I'm going to give you my example. We are now coming home, and I finish my Taraweeh and I come home and I sit down. I talk to my friend on the phone, or I call my parents, or I sit down to read tilawat of Quran. And if I had a family home, I'd be with the family. We'll be sitting, talking, maybe some gupshup, whatever. And I can rewind a few hours back, and I go to see my parents for iftar, and I sit down to talk with them after iftar. And then you say, usually this is what is the beginning of how maut will appear for all of us. It will happen so quickly, we won't know. Oh, Turk duk tuche, we say in Gujarati, it's hurting a little bit. I don't know, I feel some chest pains. I don't know, I don't feel so well. This is already the beginning. This is the beginning that we don't even know. No one knows what's about to happen. And it happens so quickly, we don't understand. Now we say, I'm not feeling so well. I think I feel like a little bit sick. And then few minutes starts transpiring. Maybe my mother would give me a glass of ginger ale as she does. Or, take this medicine. Maybe you're feeling indigestion, something. And now we feel the indigestion. It's setting in our head. Yeah, maybe it's indigestion. Not knowing that maut is just but in the house already. He's entered our house and he's here. He's ready. He's ready to come. But he's not made himself visible yet to us. Israeli Islam has not made himself visible to us yet. And now we are assuming that, maybe it's just bad stomach or something I ate. Maybe it's not sitting well on my chest. So we sit down, maybe we lie down, we go for a walk. Maut is now counting the minutes. Very few minutes left. 5, 10, 15 minutes left in this world. Insan's 15 minutes left in this world. And Maut has already prepared. The time is up. Your time is less. 1 minute, every minute ticking away now. Precious moments in this dunya are about to leave. The one ruh is about to leave. Shaitan is now making his last attempt and will to come and snatch deen. This kalima, la ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. So he's alerted. This ruh is about to depart this world. He's allowed to be alerted. This is his job. He sends his armies. Let's go. We have to go and take this one ruh and absolve it so it cannot enter into paradise, and it ends up in the it ends up in the fires of Jahannam. It ends up where we have promised we will discard humanity. He is our nemesis. His promise he will live up to. Our job is to ask Nusrat Ilahi, to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for madad. So now he will come and we will think that something is happening. It's not, he will fill our heads with thoughts. Maybe it's gas. Maybe it's I'm not well. This is me I'm talking about now. And I'm not, I would tell my mother, maybe it's gas. Maybe it's not. My mom is also not understanding. And we go through this conversation back and forth. Okay, go for a walk. Maybe, let it settle. Inshallah, it'll be okay. Not knowing that after a few minutes, maybe something is worse to happen. Either at this point, maut steps in, or I say, mom, I think I should go into the pain is getting more in the chest. I think I should go and get the doctor to check it, or go to the hospital, ICU, and just let them know, right? That my chest is hurting a lot, very bad. I'm finding it a little bit hard to breathe as well right now, right? I'm finding it hard to breathe. So we say, no, maybe it's just a pain in the chest from breathing, whatever. Sure, no problem. We go to the ICU. So one of two conditions are happening simultaneously. Either the event is sped up, where we just think it's because of indigestion, gas in our stomach, or something like this. Or the fact that now you feel a little bit more pain and we're planning to go to the ICU while Malikul Maut is about to prepare the last few minutes. Now, as the transition happens, I'm sitting there, we're sitting, and just trying to understand why is the pain happening, why is this pain? Without us knowing it, हमारे आँख के ऊपर से एक पर्दा निकल जाता है. Our eyes, the one parda that removes us from seeing this world and start transitioning, everything starts to go hazy. So aankhon ke samne is like a TV screen that's going between a channel of blur. When we're blinking, we start realizing, wait, I'm seeing something else here now. Am I losing my mind? Do you feel that you're starting to see something else? So for every blink, you're transitioning back between here, earth realm, and akhirat realm. You're blinking and you're seeing the presence of the farishta. You're seeing things that are not there to the naked eye. But now you're starting to see them. So you're blinking and you're thinking, no, it's something. At this point, now is that last chance that we get to read the kalima. Right? So now I will be thinking, what's happening? And if you tell someone, for example, if I tell my mother or I tell my father, something is happening, they won't understand because they're not seeing it. No one will understand what I'm seeing. Like I've said, no one will understand the connection between you and your Allah. These are things that you have to work on. So no one will understand the fact what I'm telling them that I'm starting to see things. They say, oh, probably, he's just tired, very tired. We always find an excuse, obviously. Insan needs to find an excuse why things are happening to us. But now I can start to see, eventually, the more blinks I take, the less blinks of the dunya are showing up. My ruh is no longer seeing the dunya more, it's starting to see the akhirat more. So 2 blinks, akhirat, 1 blink, dunya. 3 blinks, akhirat, 1 blink, dunya. Like this, more blinks are going forward, less time is being passed in the dunya. Now I start to realize, and now my nose goes limp a little bit. By now, the people around me start to realize there's something really wrong. Maut aa rahi hai. Now they can start to realize, oh my God, something happening. Now you start to feel something happening inside of you. You feel it, you're falling, like you lay back and you start. By that time, you should now be already saying the kalima, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. People around you start to read the kalima. In my case, my parents would probably be like panicked. What is happening? They start to read the kalima, Maut aa gayi. It's a moment all of us have to go through. There's nothing you can stop it. You can't tell Maut, please don't take my son. I've told my mother this. You cannot talk to Maut and say, oh, we're older, take us first, don't take my son. Maut aa gayi, waqt aa gaya. What are you going to do? You cannot bargain, you can't barter, you can't work your way out of this. It is that inevitable thing that kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. Har nafs ko jana hai. Allah ke paas hum kya tayyari karke jayenge hamare Rabb ke paas कि हम जाके कब्र के अंदर कल जाके हम खुदा को देखेंगे. Right? Tomorrow we're going to die. In my example I'm giving, I'm already in the pangs of death now. Right? I'm going through it. We have to go into our qabr all by ourselves and talk to our Allah and be reckoned for what we did. So are you ready to be reckoned? Now I'm giving my example. So my nose starts to go limp, a sign of maut appearing already. And now I feel the sakrat coming on. The last breaths as Israeli Islam is counting down the last minute. 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, 0. Time expired. Nothing else left in this world on your timer of life. Now the ruh is pulled from the feet and Israeli Islam takes the ruh. Now if I had said the kalima at that time, may Allah make it easy for us, at that time we say the right words, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, slightly before we die, and we die with silence, and just this kalima that Israeli Islam, when he's taking the ruh, he body chucks shaitan and he chases him away. And he takes our ruh and he puts it into a beautiful box, and he says, now you're going to a place where you've been promised in the Quran, where Allah has promised you gardens of paradise, Jannatun Na'im. This is what will happen to me and you. Ruh nikal gayi. Now my parents are sad, they're crying, they don't understand what happened. Family around is called. She would probably call my uncles. She would probably tell everyone, make an announcement. Inam, Maulana has passed away, right? We don't know what happened. He just wasn't well. He came home. He started to eat. He was okay. He was joking. And now he's just gone. Allah ke paas chale gaye. Yes. Now family members are making the arrangements. What's next to be done? So they call the masjid. I have to be taken for ghusl, kafan, dafan. The arrangements will be made by my parents now to make that all get happening. Stressed out, tired, exhausted, overwhelmed. Yes, all these things are taking place at the same time. But the reality is they have to prepare for it. Now, they're preparing my kafan. And the person at the masjid is given the phone call. You have to wash the body of Maulana. You have to prepare my son for the akhirat. Now, my ruh has already left, but is now fluttering outside and watching what is happening. This is why we are told to be careful with the body, because you still feel there's an attachment still until we enter into the grave. Now, I'm taken to the masjid the next day. The coroners are notified. The police is notified. The doctors are notified. They come and make a final call. Yes, they signed a certificate of death. कि ये person chala gaya. This story in his life, in the chapter of dunya, is closed. Your Facebook ends there. Does it? For you, it did. It will still carry on as an account. Your Snapchat, your TikTok, your social media life that you were trying to build will carry on without you now. People can use your account to post, but if anybody messages, hey, how are you? Likes don't matter now. Nothing matters. All that has mattered is you've left this dunya. You left your cell phone behind. With the security lock, and gone. Like that. Nobody will know until the announcements are made. Okay, Inam chale gaye is dunya se. Those that know now, they get a shock. He was so young. Now people will start talking about you. Now the word goes around within that night that this person has passed away. In my case, I passed away. And now people start, the next day, Janazah namaz is already made, arrangements for. The kafan and dafan is made. By the time the morning comes, the body is taken to the masjid. It's washed. I will no longer be wearing my turban, no longer wearing any of this. Fully exposed and in the hands of someone else, a stranger at the masjid. They will wash my body. They will prepare me with the assistance of my family, and they will wrap me up in white shrouds, and they will tie me both ends, and that's it. They will put hunud and all the things that they have to put in the nose and close off. Khalas. Now people will come and cry and say, ye hamara bachcha tha, ye hamara rishtedar tha, ye hamara pota tha, ye hamara ye tha. If I had a wife, she would say, this is my husband. My daughter would come, this is my father. Done. Finished. Life is over now. Now people feel the grief. It's time for them to move on. It's time for you to transition. And only your book of deeds are with you now. Nothing else. Not your money. Nothing. Everybody is now making other arrangements. The wirasat has to be taqseem. If I have any, things have to be done. The place that I'm living in here, this place, management has to be notified. He passed away. Rent has to be sorted out. Place has to be closed. Everything that I own, my furniture, everything around me, my carpets, my bed, everything has to be donated. Nobody wants your stuff anymore. We hold these things close to us, near and dear. I hold these things close to me. Nobody wants our stuff. They will take what they want from our possessions. They will take, without asking us what they want from our possessions, and discard the rest into the garbage. This is the reality of all the amanat that we hold dear to us, all the wealth that we are accumulating. Someone will take it, what they desire, and throw the rest into the garbage. Now, while that's happening, we are getting ready at the masjid. The imam is told, the body will come at this time. Now my body is in front. Now, people will come and they will read Salatul Janazah on me. If you have been a righteous person in this life, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you followed the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and acted upon the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then inshallah at the time of janazah, your janazah will be large. This is a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The more the people that attend your janazah, it's a sign of acceptance, a visible sign of acceptance that you have been forgiven in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's just a hadith that is expressing a visual to let people know this must be a sign of acceptance. For example, my grandfather, extended grandfather, Maulana Adam Saab in Leicester, he had more than 500,000 people, if I'm correct, 500,000 people show up for his janazah when he passed away. In Leicestershire, you can check it on YouTube as well. His janazah was written there. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him Jannatul Firdaus and grant him entry into the most a'la darja. Give him the company of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Aameen. So now I'm about to go and join them. The mayyat life is about to dawn upon me. Now the janazah namaz is finished. Everyone's assalamu alaikum, the four salam janazah without any sitting or any sujood is done. The announcements are made. Those that want to follow the janazah to certain qabristan, they're welcome to get to there. Some people now, they will have come to the janazah, they got to go back to their work, they got their things to do, grocery shopping. To them, life, they got to carry on with their life. Your life now has become something of a different story. In my case, me. Now I'm dead. People will go around, my car is sitting there, my apartment is sitting there. Nothing. These things are waiting to be distributed. I'm ready to go now. Depart from this dunya. Right? Take this as an example. This is a journey that we're going through. For me, myself too. So now, I'm ready now. The body is picked up. My body is picked up in the masjid, put into the back of a car, and people go, the family members, everybody goes to the qabristan. And people already stand and make that crowd around to wait for the car to come and get the body. The lash must be taken out. The body must be taken out and then taken to the qabristan. Now the car shows up. People are there. There's some people are talking about what happened, how he just passed away. Maulana was okay. Other people are talking, oh, I haven't seen you in a long time. Some people are talking about their car purchases. People talk about dunya. I've heard this myself at the Qabristan. People are talking about cricket and all kinds of nonsense. May Allah forgive us for our shortcomings. But at that time, we should all be thinking about what's happening. What's our condition next to happen? Humko bhi chakna hai maut ko. Humko bhi jana hai Allah ke paas akela. That we also have to taste death and we also have to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, people line up and they open the car, right? The hole is dug deep already, and now they take out my body in the casket, right? According to Canada rules, we have it in a casket here, not the wooden one, right? Just the basic normal wood. And now people pick up my lash and they walk and they push me in the line. And as they're pushing me, people are saying, "Minha khalaqnakum wa fiha nu'idukum wa minha nukhrijukum taratan ukhra." They're saying, "Allahu Akbar, Bismillahi, Allahu Akbar." They're pushing my, the body along the line, and now it gets to the point where it's put on the beer thing. And now I'm the imam and the people who are in charge. They come and slowly lower my body into the qabr. If anybody wants to see the last minute of my face, they get a last minute view. Now I'm lowered into the qabr. And now I put down and I'm tilted, if dependent on lahad or shik, depending on what kind of grave is dug. Then they tilt my body towards Qibla and they put the kind of support inside so that my face is tilting towards the Qibla. Now the persons are brought back out of the grave. The straps are removed and everybody comes forward one by one and they pick up one mutti of the mitti. The same people that loved me and cared for me and heard my talks, they are now throwing mud on me. Minha khalaqnakum wa fiha nu'idukum wa minha nukhrijukum taratan ukhra. Now from this mud we were created. Minha khalaqnakum. We were created from this mud. Wa fiha nu'idukum. And we will return back into it as I'm returned back into my grave now. Wa minha nukhrijukum taratan ukhra. And one day Allah will bring us back from this same mud to reckon us. We will be re-risen from this same mud that we've been buried in. And now they cover it. As many people can throw mud with their hand, then it moves into the shovel and then a backhoe and it flattens out. And now I'm done. My life is over. Now at home, people have forgotten almost soon. The mound is made. Some people will stand there. The imam will now come and he will begin with the dua at the head and at the end by the feet, and he will make dua for the maghfirah of me, which is the last ayat of Surah Al-Baqarah. Amana Rasulu bima unzila ilayhi min rabbihi wal mu'minun kullun amana billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rasuli la nufarriqu bayna ahadin min rusuli wa qalu sami'na wa ata'na ghufranaka rabbana wa ilaykal masir la yukallifu Allahu nafsan illa wus'aha laha ma kasabat wa 'alayha maktasabat rabbana la tu'akhizna. This whole ayat that I'm reading, this is the ayat that I read at the time of janazah. So he reads this ayat, he moves from the head to the feet, finish, everybody makes a dua, and khalas. Now people start walking away. And as people are walking away, there are 40 steps. People are thinking of, I gotta go home, I gotta get back to work. The family now affected the most. They're thinking, okay, we have to sort out the closing of Maulana's apartment. Inam, my parents would think our son's apartment has to be dissolved. They have to go and tell the people that he's passed away. The rent has to be cleared. Everything has to be taken out. And like I said, what they want to take, they distribute. Everything else goes in the garbage. What's of value, people keep, right? They make an announcement. If our son owed anybody money, please come forward. We will make the arrangements for those debts to be cleared. All these things are done. And where am I? I'm in my qabr. 40 steps are taken. And now the two angels make themselves. The akhirat world has dawned already from the time I felt that little pain in my chest when I came home and I said, oh, I was talking normal, right? I was talking normal with my parents, 10 minutes, 15 minutes in this conversation, although it's 1 hour, a whole day and night worth now, but the akhirat has already dawned. And now those angels come out. They sit. Ijlis, ya ibad. Sit down. They wake you up. Right? Metaphorically, or however the akhirat life is, we are now in that realm. We will be told to sit. The akhirat dawning has now come. And we will sit, whether it's our ruh or physical body. And we will be asked these questions. Nothing else. They won't ask us, how are you doing? Assalamu alaikum. Nice to meet you. No conversation. 3 questions. At which point, if you already had answered the kalima when you had entered into this realm, you will sit with confidence and you will be able to talk to them. If you hadn't, and if I hadn't entered this realm with the kalima, now hosla utar jayega. You will be so nervous and scared beyond reckoning. You can't even get out. You're in a cupboard by yourself. I've said the first night in the cupboard for a man by himself, the darkness of that cupboard, it will scare your intestines out of you. There's nothing more horrifying. And now they will ask you, Ma Rabbuk, Ma Dinuk, Man Nabiyuk. If you say the 3 answers, Ma Rabbuk, Allah, Ma Dinuk, Al-Islam, Man Nabiyuk, Al-Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, subhanallah. You have passed. They step away into the recesses of the grave and out comes a paradise garden opening and everything gets showered upon you right away. You get overwhelmed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's voice comes out, welcome home per se. And now you are resting forever in the gardens of paradise in relaxation till Qiyamah. On the other hand, Ma Rabbuk, La Adri, Ma Dinuk, La Adri, Man Nabiyuk, La Adri, La Adri, I don't know. May Allah forgive me and don't let me be amongst those that doesn't know. This is why I'm changed. I've changed my life and bonded more with my Rabb so that when the time that I leave this dunya and the angel squeezes my soul to take it out, the kalima comes out of it and it's assistance for me in my qabr. Because this is the real life about to begin. And if I said La Adri, may Allah forgive me and don't let me amongst those that say La Adri. Now at this point, what happens? The angel said, you had a chance in this world. You wasted your whole life. You could have figured out. Now we have nothing to say to you except in you have failed. They step into the recesses of the grave and the grave closes upon you and all the punishment and the bed of the grave becomes the fire of Jahannam for you. We don't know how it's discussed, whether it's real or whether whatever metaphorically, how Allah makes it. But you're in the akhirat realm now, so anything is possible here. Now your punishment has begun until Yawmul Qiyamah, where Jahannam is waiting for you. You will be flung into it. This is why it is important. Now you've come to understand this journey that we have taken. All of us will go through it one step at a time, transitioning quickly, one step after the next, blurring between the akhirat realm and the dunya realm before the akhirat realm takes over and you start seeing Israeli Islam physically in front of you in this dunya as he's come to take your soul. The angels and the malaika that are always around us, you will start to see them now. The ones that are sitting on your shoulders, they become visible to you. So my dear brothers and sisters, what are we doing to prepare ourselves for this journey that I've just told you that we're all going to take? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy upon us that we change our lifestyle in this dunya and we prepare our lives that when we go down into the qabr, we're not stuck with no answer and we are reckoned and now we start to cook and burn. May Allah make it easy upon us that we take the last few days of Ramadan and we squeeze it, that all the juice that can come out, we get forgiven from Jahannam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not look past us. And on the night of Eid, when the last night comes, we are amongst those that have cashed in our certificate and happily we know कि या Allah, तूने मुझको जहन्नम की आग से बचा लिया. That Ya Allah, you will feel it, but it needs an effort. If you have wasted your time till now, don't worry, it's not over. You can still, till tonight, you can still change your life. You can still try to make an effort to capture on the last few nights of Ramadan. It's never too late. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you, me, and all of us the ability to be inspired to get close to Him, to be inspired to change our life, to be inspired to accept the ahkam of Allah as He wills it, shown to us by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to become better mu'mineen, better fathers, better husbands, better character mu'min, believers, that people around us see what this Islam is about, who our Prophet was, and what Allah requires of us, so that Islam flourishes from us, like how water flows from the river, water flows from the nali. from the base of the river into the ocean, how water flows. We become that kind of example for people to see Islam just flowing from us. May Allah make it easy for all of us and accept my words and all of the audience also. Forgive me for taking your time. Jazakallah for listening in till now. Forgive me for any of my shortcomings. May Allah accept this topic as I have discussed. It was something that was bothering me and needed to be talked about. I hope this journey wakes us all up, that we all prepare ourselves for that day when it's inevitable for us to leave this world. Jazakallahu khair wa akhiru dawana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.